Hi, I'm Jack Wessel, and this is Vlog Chapter 5 Outsourcing Memory. So, the chapter starts off by talking about how recently, in the 21st century, we have been investing more of ourselves into machines and technology than ever before because technology is growing at an exponential rate, but we're pouring ourselves into it to develop newer and better technology that other people will enjoy. And the only way we will know and companies know what people will enjoy is by knowing that themselves could find this smartphones or new devices useful. Um, Text storage. So as the in like in the 1990s, there used to be floppy disk, and you can even go all the way back to the 80s. There'd be supercomputers that had the same storage capacity as my phone nowadays. And as time goes on, the are getting smaller and the memory is getting bigger. And we talked about that in one of the past chapters, I think, or one of the articles we had to read about how it's changed so much. But some believe that the technology storage has increased our fitness as a species because with technology being able to store more and more information, it takes more strain off the human brain, and it helps declutter human brains because we don't have to hold as much information in our head as once before. And sure, it could be looked at like as a good thing that we don't have to worry about much, but it can also be looked as a bad thing because actually studies, I think it's at every 3 to 4 years, it shows that the brain capacity of a human is actually more than we think. And it's kind of shocking how it's 2021 and we still don't know how much capacity the human brain has, but but yeah, they were saying how we will never run out of storage in our brain, which is it's not shocking because when you think about it, humans are constantly developing new technology to hold more storage. So you'd always think that a human brain might not know as much as a computer, but we will always have the same or more amount of storage as a computer. Um, because of technology, though, and how we always are reliant on technology and how we're always looking at technology for information, we're less likely to retain info than ever before. Um, I thought it was not funny, but interesting, where at the in the middle towards the end of the chapter, it's talking about how nowadays we're just the Google it era, and that's 100% true because I remember like middle school, elementary school, all that. Uh, Even when you'd ask a teacher a question about a subject or in social studies, and the teacher's like, I don't know, let me just Google it. And I always thought that was funny. But in the chapter, it talks about because it was just a Google it era, it became the end of Who Wants to Become a Millionaire. Because when they would phone a friend, the person on the other side of the line would just Google it. It kind of stinks because there's there's some good clips I've seen on like TikTok or Instagram where some of the shows looked fun, but we'll never have that nowadays because people just Google stuff. Um, there's a difference between using technology as an aid versus a memory system. We nowadays, so when technology first came out, computers and all that, it was used as an aid because back then, since computers were so big and so bulky and didn't have a lot of storage, people could only use them to do certain things, like sure code or I don't know what people did in the 80s or 90s with their computers, but they didn't have it. They had it to do little stuff or stuff that you had to have a computer for. But nowadays, they're so easily accessible and so useful to us that we just use them as a memory system. Like the other day, I was on my computer, no, I was on my phone looking at old pictures that I forgot I had, and I'm looking at all these fun times I had when I was a kid and all these memories. But I myself didn't remember the memories. I'm using my phone as a memory tool, which sure can help me maybe retain different information instead of the memory as I once had. But it just helped me remind myself of the times I had. So I'm kind of like outsourcing my memory so my phone has it, but once I see those pictures, I'll remember it for myself. We are the degeneration generation. It was an interesting title. Um, by using technology the way we are nowadays, it's leading to the degeneration of our cognitive processes, which is like the ability to remember, comprehend, and understand information and problems as they occur. It impacts our critical thinking because why would we critically think when we can just look it up and solve the problem? You know? Reflect. So I found this chapter probably the most interesting we've done just because in the past chapter, sure, we talk about interesting topics, but I think this one is more important per se because I feel like it's crazy to think about how you could say 10 to 20 years ago people were using or technology less to remember things but just to aid them. But nowadays, like I said, I'm using my phone for pictures of old like moments I had, and I'm using that to store my memory or to jog my memory so I can try to or like just forget about it and think about other stuff. Connect. So we've been, talking about there was, I think it was last week we did a read and reflect with Google and how Google is making people stupid, and I think it's sad, but it's kind of true because why would people when they have the choice to choose between remembering stuff or just being able to Google stuff anytime I want? Like I know myself personally, I just know a bunch of random stuff for no reason, but it's because of the fact that I've Googled it in the past or I've heard someone talk about it from the past. Um, some interesting information, and I'm one of the friends that will tell people random facts like about, I don't know, Zach Brown Band's Chicken Fried wasn't finished till after 9/11 because they couldn't finish the song and they added the last part in after 9/11 to support a patriotic view. And that's the type of random information that I know. And on that note, that is my vlog chapter 5, Outsourcing Memory.